Hey everybody, welcome back to Cooking 101. I'm Jen, I'm a dietitian. I am in my tiny kitchen where I cook lots of really complicated things in a tiny amount of space. So this show is all about showing people things that they might not be aware of or used to or don't know about when it comes to cooking. I'm not a professional chef, but I am a dietitian, and part of my job is making things in the kitchen a little more accessible so you can make healthy meals for yourself or for your family. Today I wanted to do something about the fact that I'm getting really weird vegetables in my CSA. So for those who might not know, CSAs are basically a share of a farm or a collective of farms. You pay in advance. That helps put money in the pocket of the farmer up front. And then for the summer, they'll give you boxes of produce. I'm currently working with Local Roots. They are awesome. I highly recommend them. They're a type of CSA where you can buy in the middle of the season if you want to try it for the first time, and you don't have to commit to a full 12-week season. And they go all year round. And I love them. They are awesome. And they deliver, so I don't even have to go to the store right now, which has been great in Pandemic Central. Although New York is doing much better now, so we're not quite Pandemic Central, but it's still nice I don't have to go to the store, and I get all this awesome produce, and I get weird stuff coming in. So I like to introduce people to the weird stuff I'm eating and teach them about it so that if they come across it, they might also be interested in eating it. Today, we're going to talk about Celtuce, or Celtuce, or Celtuce. I looked up how this is pronounced, and the internet said Celtuce, and I hate it, but it is literally a portmanteau of celery lettuce, so we'll go with Celtuce. I like Celtuce. Celtuce sounds nice. But yeah, celery lettuce, or it's also called asparagus lettuce or stem lettuce. It looks like this. So I've only gotten this once before in my entire life, and it came in a CSA like 2 years ago, and I was like, what is this, and why? And I was really put off by the fact that it required special preparation and that I couldn't just chop it up and throw it in a pan. However, I'm kind of over that now. The special preparation is really just, you gotta peel it. It's not that complicated. But Celtuce is basically a Chinese vegetable. It's been around for hundreds and thousands of years. I think 600 AD is when it came to China. It's also been in the Mediterranean. It's not widely distributed, but it seems to be catching on now because I'm seeing it more in CSA shares. So it can probably be grown pretty easily in the States. And so look out for this vegetable. It'll probably be around more often in the coming years, and you'll be like, oh, I saw this on Jen's show, now I know what that is, and you'll be ahead of the game. It isn't quite the trendy vegetable that kale was. It's not a superfood, but it's a leafy green. Leafy greens are awesome. They have lots of good stuff like B vitamins, which your body really, really needs. Also high in fiber, which is always good for the digestive tract and for feeling full, so you don't get hungry right after you eat it. And it's a different vegetable. So I'm going to show you how to prepare a different vegetable. So it is in the celery family. So these leaves are or not celery, it's in the lettuce family. These leaves are lettuce-like, but I'm told they're really bitter. So the last time I got Celtuce, I did not have leaves on it, so I couldn't try them. And I'm told don't eat them raw. So the first thing I'm going to do for science is eat some raw. Wish me luck. Okay, it's definitely got a bitter aftertaste. So to me, that wasn't that bad. Now the aftertaste is still going. I also happen to be one of these few people in the world who doesn't taste bitter very strongly. So I'll eat dandelion greens all day long and kale and just be like, this is awesome, and to take my tea straight with no sugar, and I think that's great. There's actually a thing I learned in grad school. There are people called super tasters and not super tasters, and I fall into the not super taster category. We're a dying breed, because this is apparently a genetic trait that taught humans how to not eat poisonous food. But since we are living in the year 2020, we don't usually go out scavenging for poisonous food, or we know the difference by now, so I don't taste that bitter warning flavor that poisonous food might give off, whereas everyone who can taste it has survived because they would taste something and spit it out, and I would probably, and my ancestors would be eating that stuff, and we'd keel over and die. So it's a selective genetic trait. I don't taste bitter that strongly, and that was still kind of bitter, so don't eat the leaves raw. The leaves do not taste like the stem, which is like the really good part here. But you can put the leaves in a saute pan with the rest of the stem and it'll still taste pretty good. Just different flavor. The stem can be eaten raw, but you have to know to peel it first. You can't just eat this. It will be tough and terrible and not pleasant at all. Good news is you can literally just peel it off. So I have a vegetable peeler. You can also use a knife. I have a paring knife to prep this. I'm going to just take the leaves off now, and we'll chop those up and we'll put them in our saute. Yeah, the bitter aftertaste really lingers. It's not great. Not a fan. Okay. So, this is often shipped with just the stem. If you have the leaves, you can still use them. I like to use, oh, and it also, like, it bleeds this white stuff, but don't worry about that. It's not going to hurt you. But I've never had the leaves before, so yay, I got to try something. So, you're going to peel this. You'll know when you're done peeling because the center of this is like a neonish green and looks all translucent and interesting, which I will show you. So, you just peel it like a potato. It's going to have this white ooze all around it, but you can see there's that different translucent center. That's what we're getting towards. That's the tasty center of the Celtuce. That's what we want to eat. It's not the easiest thing to peel because it is a little bit layered, as you can see, but we're getting places and doing things. So this sap that's coming off it's a little bit slimy, a little bit sticky. I think it's also a bit bitter, so that's where some of the bitter flavor comes from. We're going to pay it no mind because we're not eating that part. It's not going to be like okra. You're not going to be inundated with like snot coming off the vegetable. It's just like a little bit of sap that reminds me of milkweed a little bit. The very end of this is super fibrous, so I'm just doing a few more strokes with the vegetable peeler to really get down to the tender stem part, because it's all about the stem with this. So if you're wondering, what does Celtuce taste like? It's actually interesting because it's kind of nutty for a plant. Like, usually when I eat dark leafy greens, it doesn't taste nutty. It doesn't have that deep, rich flavor, but this does. Very pleasant. I like it a lot. So I'm just really peeling the fibrous stuff off. Ugh. You can see as it gets towards the bottom, it's white. We don't want the white. We want that translucent green stuff. That's the good stuff. Alright, we're almost there, I swear. Aren't you so glad you tuned in to watch me battle with a vegetable peeler? Alright, so most of that is done. I'm going to go move up the stem now. I still got a few bits of leaf. This is a lot easier. This is less fibrous as it goes up, so less strokes. Don't have to worry about it so much. Peel, peel, peel. Peel, peel, peel. Getting a nice uniform color to this tender stem. There we go. Just get all that outside stem off because you don't want to eat it. It's not fun. You'll just be chewing a lot. There we go. That looks nice. Much nicer. There is our Celtuce. This is the edible part. This is the best part of our celery lettuce, asparagus lettuce, stem lettuce vegetable. Alright. So I'm going to probably cut the very end of this off because this looks like it's pretty fibrous throughout. You can see it kind of goes through. That's one of the benefits of having a little translucent stem here, is you can see what it looks like in the middle. So we just cut that part off, cut the very top off, a few more strokes at the top because it looks like there's still some skin on there. There. So I'm cracking up a little bit because my CSA sent an email ahead of time that was like, how to prepare Celtuce. And I was like, oh yay, we're getting a bunch. So I'll show how to cook it, and I'll have one pre-peeled so it'll be good to go, and then I can make a big batch of it. And then they literally gave us one. So luckily I didn't screw this up, because this is my only Celtuce for the day. But this is what it looks like when you're done peeling it. Nice, like neon green, translucent, almost, you want to see through it, but you can't. And you try to get all the fibrous bits off, and then this is the tender bit. Now you can just stop here and cut it up. You can eat this raw. I'm just using a paring knife here, and I'm going to cut this part in half because it's thick. So you can just eat it the way it is. I'm going to eat some right now. Super crunchy. Pretty mild in flavor. There's a little bit of that nuttiness. A little hint of bitter. So, but you can eat it. It's actually really refreshing. But I liked it sauteed the last time. I feel like it brought out more flavor, so we're just going to do a very quick saute, and then we'll be done with this video. This is going to just be the shortest video I've ever done, and I'm okay with that because it's summer. Let's go outside. So, a little bit of olive oil. I'm using my tiny, tiny pan, so it's not a lot of olive oil at all. Preheat the pan. This helps to also get the olive oil kind of spread out, because the olive oil thins as you heat it up. And while we're waiting for that to heat up, I'm just going to break down these pieces a little bit more. Make them nice and bite-sized. Alright, we got our leaves. I'm just going to break the leaves in half. So cooking for bitter greens always takes the bitter out. So if you ever find yourself with something like this, or dandelion greens, which are super bitter, I actually just cooked those up last night, just saute them. That's the quickest, easiest way to get rid of any bitterness. Sauteing really relieves the bitterness, brings out other flavors, makes things more rich, delicious. You can saute until it's crisp. You can saute until it's soft. If you're not sure how to saute greens, or you keep finding that they're coming out burnt, check out my video on sauteed greens. Alright, so heat has spread out the oil a little bit. I'm just spreading it out even more. I'm adding the leaves. I've turned the heat down a little bit, probably too much. I'm going to turn it up a little so things sizzle. And I'm just going to add all my Celtuce pieces. Alright, so coated in a little bit of the olive oil. I'm going to do like 2 turns of salt just to add a little seasoning. You can also add garlic. I did not this time because I'm just going to enjoy my Celtuce as is. Now, as this is sauteing, this will only take a couple minutes, and you can just keep an eye on it. Again, don't walk away from your pan. Walking away from your pan is always a bad idea because things go from fine to burnt really fast and you don't realize it. But as this is cooking, I'll just talk a little bit more about where you can find this. So the most likely place you will see Celtuce is probably an Asian market. For me, I live in New York City, so I can just walk down to Chinatown. If you live near Chinatown, you're likely to find it. This is a very Chinese vegetable. It's not Korean, not really Japanese. It's pretty unique to China. But you should be able to find it in any sort of Asian market that has a good produce section. You'll always find it fresh, and it looks like a weird stem that's got overlapping and leaves at the top. Now, that might describe a couple of things, so you might want to check what the name is. In fact, when I was looking at it, it looked a lot like a sprig of wasabi, actual wasabi, which is another long green stem. a horseradish. So just check the labeling, make sure you're getting the right thing. But that's the most likely place you'll find Celtuce in America right now. But if you join a CSA and that CSA is really getting interested in different vegetables you can grow, I'm betting that Celtuce is pretty easy because it's starting to slip into CSAs and I'd never heard of it before. So I think farmers are going to probably undertake this as the next trendy vegetable, but it's got a ways to go in catching up in terms of popularity because nobody's heard of it before, and it's still coming with, like my CSA, an instruction packet on how to prepare it. It's not that hard though. We've been at this for 15 minutes and I've been talking a lot, and this is pretty much done cooking. So it actually smells really nice as you're cooking it too. Like, it's surprising that the only thing in here is olive oil, a little salt, and this. Smells like a complex meal and isn't. That's kind of a nice thing about bitter greens is when you saute them, they take on a whole different profile than their nasty, off-tasting, bitter, raw version. And I like to get, when I'm doing Celtuce, I like to get kind of a little bit of a brown Maillard reaction on it, just because that helps bring out some flavor as well. But you don't really have to do a lot with this stuff. It's really easy. You can probably just add the stem to any stir fry you're doing and pay it no attention, and it'll just be a nice different flavor that you're enjoying in your meal with added benefit of good fiber, good nutrients, good vitamins. But this is pretty much done in my tiny pan. There you have it. That's your Celtuce. So, that's our show. Nice and brief today. I'm going to do another weird vegetable next week because I just had a friend who texted me the other day saying she got kohlrabi and had no idea what it was. So, I'm getting lots of kohlrabi next week, and I already have a recipe lined up for it, so that's what we're going to be learning about. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you have anything you'd like to learn about, especially mystery vegetables, because I have a lot of fun with stuff I don't know about, and then I learn how to use it, and then I feel really cool because I know about it. Please let me know what you would like to learn about. I am here to help. Also, if you have a recipe you've always wanted to try, but you don't know where to start, I can help with that. Or if something you've been cooking has been turning out terribly, I can help with that. So just let me know what you like, and I will be happy to show you the ropes. If you guys would like to contribute to the show, I take donations on my Venmo at JSRockRD. If you can't contribute or you can't afford it, that's totally fine. I like to keep this program free. Contributions help my business and they help afford vegetables so that I can cook for you guys every week. But I want to make this program accessible, so it will always be accessible to anyone who needs it. Final note is I still am running a group. It's on stress eating. It starts tomorrow. If anybody would like to sign up, you can go to my website, jrockrd.com/events. It's going to be all about why we stress eat and how to stop it. Something that I struggle with myself, so this group is going to be near and dear to my heart. Subject matter that I've spent a lot of time with a lot of people working on, and I can really help you get off that habit you have and hopefully start a few new healthy habits. So again, if you're interested in signing up for the group, go to my website, jrockrd.com, look for the events tab. All the information is there and you can sign up. Alright guys, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week.